What's up, YouTube? So I want to come through and talk about some real reasons why brown skinned and dark skinned men like, prefer, love, and even worship light skinned, mixed, and biracial black identified women. And before I begin, I want to give a disclaimer. Alright, so here it is. Disclaimer. This is about colorist people. Okay? Are you a colorist? After all, a hit dog will holler. And if you're hollering, then you were just a dog in the crowd that got hit. Okay? So with that disclaimer, let's get into this. All right? So one reason is that these brown skinned, dark skinned dudes have low self-esteem and they're seeking, you know, non-black slash non-black adjacent validation. You know. I think when it comes to, well, I'll kind of go into that a little bit later. But yeah, they're kind of seeking some they want some, well, let me get into the next part. They want some proximity to non-blackness because they believe that black by itself ain't enough. Like, two black folks ain't enough. It ain't good enough for them. you know, and they often, sometimes I think what's at play low key is like, oh, they don't want to be seen with like another brown skin person, like a brown skinned woman or a dark skinned woman, because it's kind of like they may feel like they're getting judged in a negative way for being with her, and just two dark skinned brown skinned people being together. Sometimes that is at play, you know. People don't want to really speak on that, but that sometimes is at play where it's like, oh no, they just feel like she looks good, but she too dark, right? He wants like, someone who he feels is going to um, bring some positive attention and low key be like a non-black cosign or a non-black adjacent cosign, right? All right. Next is, um, these guys, these brown skinned, dark skinned men, they often want like a trophy or a status symbol to sort of symbolize that, they've arrived, they made it, they're successful, right? And basically they're seeking external validation, you know, by having this light-skinned mixed biracial female on their arm, by their side, whatever, right? And again, going back to external validation, they often shame brown and dark-skinned women for wanting external validation. But these dudes, low-key, want that external validation as well. They're just going about it in a different way. Like the women, brown-skinned, dark-skinned women, and just women in general tend to go about it with their looks, while the men tend to go about it with their accomplishments, right? And the things that they've acquired. The light-skinned biracial female trophy, right? Another factor, something that really factors into this is, like light-skinned, biracial, and mixed females, like statistically speaking, like their numbers are low. And they're stereotyped as being pretentious among other things. They are assumed to have options because of their assumed beauty, right? So this kind of factors into them sort of being like a trophy to this brown-skinned, dark-skinned man, right? On the other hand, brown-skinned, dark-skinned women are high in numbers, stereotyped as having little to no options outside of a dark-skinned, brown-skinned black man. Not viewed as a prize by those brown-skinned, dark-skinned black men. Again, colorist, the colorist ones, right? I'm not trying to be shady, but I'm just trying to tell it like it is. So, you know, when a lot of times these dudes get to this level, and I've kind of even seen this play out just in like subtle ways too. Like I won't name his name, but there's this one dude on YouTube, and he's like a dark-skinned dude, dark-skinned brother, and he gives like dating advice and things like that. And sometimes like the photos that he takes, like the pictures he takes with women as like promotional pictures and stuff, tend to be with like exoticals, right? Biracial exoticals, white women. I haven't ran across him posed up with like, you know, a woman with the same phenotype as him. Not yet. It could be there. I haven't went through his old page, but just browsing, just from what I've seen, you know, that just I haven't seen that from him. So that does like low key subliminally send a message that hey, it's kind of like, oh, this is the prize, right? This is what you really want to go for, right? And honestly, I think people who look at, who subscribe to him and look at his videos kind of subconsciously may have that same feeling like, okay, his dating advice does work. Look, he's got a like, a exotical, right? He got a white woman, right? He got the prize, right? All right. Next, these brown-skinned and dark-skinned men don't believe that brown-skinned, dark-skinned women are much of a prize, as quiet as it's kept. I mentioned that before, but um, yeah, they don't admit it, but again, their actions show it, right? The actions, you got to read what these, because again, they're going to pay you lip service, brown skin and dark skinned women. They're going to pay you lip service because they know, like, it's an inconvenient truth for them, but they know that they need you. They wish that they could. Honestly, I feel like these colorists wish that they could just, you know, ignore you and toss you aside and not have to deal with you, you know, but they can't. Kind of like how these actors who are marketed to black women who have white wives or non-black wives, they probably do wish that they could just ignore you, but they can't because they know they get their bread and butter from you. Same with the brown skinned, dark skinned men, right? Because again, there's not enough biracial, mixed, and light skinned women to go around for the collective of brown skinned, dark skinned men. And quiet as it's kept, not all light skinned, mixed, and biracial women are checking for the brown skinned, dark skinned men. And, a lot of them who are really exceptional really do have options, so they're going to get the most out of their options, you know? You know. So then, once they can't get the light skinned, mixed, biracial trophy, then it's like, you know, I hate to say it, but like a low key for these colors ones, like a fallback plan, Then let's go for the pretty for, the quote unquote pretty for a dark skinned girls, right? Who may have some sort of a like, quote unquote exotic feature, maybe like a loose hair texture, maybe like a exotic eye color, maybe keen facial features, you know. Then that's when it comes into play. That's when, it comes into play, like kind of like they're like consolation prize that they couldn't, already light-skinned women are sort of like a consolation prize for them, but even when they can't get that prize, then it's like a consolation prize, let's see next. These colors dudes here, brown skin, dark skin men tend to associate dark skin with struggle, poverty, discrimination, oppression, and just negativity. They feel like they've arrived, so they want to, distance themselves from struggle, poverty, discrimination, oppression, and negativity, right? But that's how they probably low-key kind of view themselves, you know. They believe that lighter is better for the women, and as quiet as it's kept for the men too, though they'll never admit it. But just look at how the colorist ones lash out at, the light-skinned mixed men. No one ever calls this shit out unless a brown-skinned or dark-skinned woman is doing it, though. Notice that, you know, to a light-skinned, biracial, mixed exotical, right? Who identifies as black, right? They don't like if that brown-skinned, dark-skinned woman can't get away with doing what that brown-skinned, dark-skinned man can, right? When it comes to like how the brown-skinned folks interact with the light-skinned folks. Nuh-uh. Because look who's leading the shaming. Brown-skinned, dark-skinned men. They're leading the shaming campaign against their own group of women. I don't know. And also, you got to look at who they get with when they get their come up, right? Usually, they come up as thanks largely to brown-skinned, dark-skinned women, whether it's their, fan base lifting them up, whether it's their family, their mama, hell, their sister maybe. Usually these dudes get a come up. Brown skin, dark skinned women are involved and they come up usually in some way. All right. And you know how the saying goes, the more successful a black man gets, the lighter his women get. You see that playing out in the media, right? The more successful these Negroes get, the lighter their women get. And also, something to throw in there too. The media promotion of dark-skinned, brown-skinned men with light-skinned, biracial mixed women has a strong influence on both groups of people. And I really think that the black media needs to really switch it up and kind of like show different couples, like same skin tone couples, definitely, but also switch it up too with like different skin tone couples. Notice in black movies, at least lately, you don't tend to see brown-skinned and dark-skinned women paired with, like, light-skinned, mixed, or biracial men. But that brown-skinned, dark-skinned man can be paired with the light-skinned, biracial female and the brown-skinned, dark-skinned woman. While the light-skinned dude, it's like, And then sometimes they'll just skip over the light-skinned, biracial dude, a light-skinned mixed dude, and go to a non-black man, usually a white man, right? And sometimes you see this play out in reality too. In reality, where these women will do that, right? And at that point, to me, if that's that's the bullshit that you on, and I don't care what shade of color you are as a black woman. At that point, you are a bedwench to me. And I don't really throw that word around. I don't really use that word. I really try not to use that word, But at that point, you really do become a bedwench to me. If you're going to skip out on the light-skinned biracial dudes for non-black men, especially white men, and risk having to deal with possibly a cave beast, then you get what the fuck you deserve from that relationship, by the way. When he has you involved in some sort of weird rape ritual or something, or weird fetish rape shit or something, calling you all types of nigger bitches, That's what the fuck you deserve. Alright? So go ahead, get the fuck on. Take your bedwench ass over there and stay over there. And don't even try to bring your kids back into the community either. Sell out, bedwench, cum dumpster of a whore. Alright? But back to topic though. Alright. These brown skinned, dark skinned men use light skinned, biracial, and mixed women as consolation prizes. Quote unquote consolation prizes. They will settle for this light skinned, mixed biracial woman because they don't want to be seen as sellouts. Right? So they want that non-black adjacency, that non-black, those features, that non-black proximity, but they don't want to be seen as a sellout though. right? They want to be able to bring her home to meet mama, bring her home to the cookout, or bring her to the cookout without any backlash, right? Without anybody, having, saying like, damn, you a sellout nigga, or coon ass nigga, man. Also, they don't want to have to deal with the racist parents and family members, especially if you date like a white woman, right? And of course, the vitriol from society too, right? Like they don't want to have to deal with like, racist redneck dad, like, oh, like Becky, why the hell did you bring home a Negro? Didn't we teach you right, Becky? Didn't we teach you, me and your mother? We taught you that white was right. Now look at you. And you better not have any half jigaboo kids either. What the hell would the neighbors think, Becky? We taught you pure white like our Lord and Savior, Donald Trump. I mean, Jesus. Pure white, Becky. Now, I ain't hating and being racist. I'm just saying. But back to business, though. But notice, though, these dudes, these brown-skinned, dark-skinned dudes are slowly starting to move away from the light-skinned mixed biracial women. Notice this. It's a slow process, but they're slowly starting to move away from them. Like, just move away from women with any black in them. And towards non-black women, right? And a lot of times these dudes use these light-skinned biracial women as stepping stones into the White House, quote unquote, the White House, right? And all this is like, I know it's a bit much, I know. To the dark-skinned, brown-skinned women and the light-skinned biracial mixed men, don't feel some type of a way about this bullshit, all right? Like I said in a few videos, there's no honor among colorists, all right? At one point or another, they end up screwing each other over, one way or another. So you don't want to be a part of that bullshit. What can you do with a colorist person anyway? And as well, to the colorist dark-skinned men, brown-skinned men, light-skinned biracial females, and whoever else, really. Don't worry. Do not worry. My colorism videos will be coming to an end at one point or another. So you can continue to indulge in your toxic, devilish colorism and self-hate in peace without anyone calling you out on it and, exposing you. Don't worry. I'll be done soon enough. All right. But thank you for watching, you guys. Feel free to comment. I really appreciate them. And as well, I'll catch you in the next video. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.